Scorpio, please excuse my throat. I have had a sore throat since Christmas and I can't seem to get rid of it. So this is your February 2018 general reading. I am going to try and do the love readings this month. It all depends on my health, okay? So give me a minute here. Your additional guidance card is the Star card. Beautiful card. It's about transparency, faith, trust, the state of grace, all these beautiful energies of life which make us feel, Scorpio, that we're protected. You know those moments in our life that happen to us where we feel the hand of goodness leading us somewhere? That's what the grace card, that's what the Star card represents. And I'm looking at your cards and I can see why. You've definitely got the energy of good fortune around you, to tell you the truth, Scorpio. You've got the Wheel of Fortune here in the money house, right next to the Ten of Discs in your inner life. So the Ten of Discs is a card about having enough. You can see it here because the box is wide open. There's enough to share. You're not having to grasp. The tens are the most spiritual cards because they're about sharing. Now, for what I'm not saying to preserving your resources means that you're not a spiritual person, okay? There's a time for everything. There's a time to preserve and there's a time to share, okay? That's just the way. That is the way of life. But having plenty to share and having an open heart is extremely good health, basically. And that's what's going on for you at the level of your soul. So really, really like it. So you enter February with two fours, Four of Wands and the Four of Swords. So the Four of Wands is about celebrating. It's new chapter, crossing a threshold. It's got so many different meanings, but it's a card of good vibrations, to tell you the truth. It's a card of stability because it's a four, and it's wands, so it's fun, it's creativity. With the Four of Swords, the Four of Swords again is a card. All the fours represent stability. The Four of Swords is a card of retreat. Now, quite often we retreat because we're exhausted. We retreat because life forces us into retreat. But there's maybe a sense of you spending some time in solitude and quite quiet, okay? Quite often that Four of Swords appears for me. I really need it because I feel really tired. But what I do like about it, Scorpio, is the amount of stability for both those cards, okay? Quite a strong foundation going on for you. Now, what you most want is the Seven of Discs. That's quite an interesting card to show up here, to tell you the truth. The Seven of Discs is a card, again, a very contemplative card. She's gone to pick the harvest, like the Ten of Discs, which you've got, okay? She's gone to pick her harvest and she's just looking at the fruit and deciding if it's time to pick or if it's time to wait. So it's quite a deep contemplation card. It does tend to represent maybe having to wait a little bit on perseverance, but there's a really interesting dynamic because your supportive energy, okay, what's guiding you, supporting you, is a Justice card, okay? So the Justice card would represent the Ten of Discs, okay? It's the month of Libra. All the seeds have been sown and this is you reaping the rewards, okay? This is the final outcome. And again, it does tend to represent that you'll reap whatever work that you have done. So maybe some Scorpios are waiting here. There's a sense of you're waiting for something to come into full fruition. It can be a relationship, it can be financial issues to do with work. Maybe you've been considering a college course that sort of thing. But there's been a lot of contemplation and a lot of waiting. And you know what? I love these cards together, especially because you've got the 10. So this would be the final outcome. And it's all happening together. And it seems to be all happening this month for you, which is saying that this 7 will become the 10. So I really don't know what it's going to be about. It might be about creative projects, learning new skills. Maybe you've been waiting on some money to come your way, sorting out a housing project, something to do with that. But by the looks of it, it's all about to happen. Now, what your challenge is the Page of Cups, okay? So the Page of Cups is about love, okay? This can be a new relationship, or it can be bringing an established relationship back to its original state. Okay, forgiveness, trying to heal a bond. So this is your challenge, okay? I'm going to come back to that, but I'm just realising he's looking right at the Star card. And these two together would mean what your challenge here, Scorpio, is to do with trust. Okay? Trust, being willing to be vulnerable in love, being willing to be seen, but it's especially to do with trust. Because look, they're just staring at each other here. And if you think about it, some of us enter into relationships with swords from the past still stuck in our hearts, and we wonder why that relationship hasn't worked. So maybe there's some theme here, Scorpio, of there's some healing that has to happen. Now, that is the same for everyone, every single person, and it's especially the case when Jupiter's in Scorpio. We're all been asked to heal our emotions, okay? Because everyone's emotions are full of daggers and betrayal, well, most of us, okay? But it would seem your challenge is trust here, being willing to be vulnerable, to be open, to trust love, okay? In the relationship house, you've got the joy, the 3 of Cups. Now, as most of you know how I read this card, these people fly. And they fly right over all these cups pouring into each other because they've let go of whatever was holding them down. Which is exactly what I'm saying here, Scorpio, okay? It's like your heart and this trust and this innocence wants to come back into your life. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, but that's exactly, you can only read the cards and understand what they mean to you. Money and work, the Wheel of Fortune, say no more. I think there's some good vibrations coming your way. And I couldn't be happier for any of yous. Soul level, 10 of Discs, I already discussed that. It's really interesting. There's a strange relationship between that 7, the Justice card, and that 10. Something's coming to fruition for you. And personally, I do think it's about work and money, but also about relationships. There's a theme here about trusting people, being willing to be naked, to be transparent, to not go forward with the past. Really, really hard work. Outcome is 8 of Discs, which is you just working hard through the night, because there seems to be there's some big material project happening here. Maybe you're learning a new skill, bursting out of your old conditioning and you're starting to learn new skills. So basically, you learn them now, and then when Jupiter goes into your career house, that's when you start to bring them out into the world, okay? So that's what I mean. Astrology and the tarot is a perfect jigsaw puzzle. I think some of you are definitely learning new skills, new crafts, And there's a theme, because the Star card, look at her. She's totally naked. And this Page of Cups has got a pure heart. This is your challenge, Scorpio, and only you know exactly what it means, okay? And I have to go, okay? I'm hoping to do love readings. Look out for them, and loads of love. Bye.